What are the opportunities you foresee in the year FY22 and beyond with respect to sectors?
Right. So we had a pandemic, and that's affected the last quarter, the March quarter last financial year. But we will not have that kind of problem this March quarter. So most of the sectors are likely to do well this result season. At the aggregate level, we feel that the NIFTY earnings can go up by about 65% when the results are announced for the March quarter. And some sectors are going to stand out. At the aggregate level, I think metals are the one which are going to do a lot of heavy lifting for the earnings. At aggregate level, we feel that the earnings are going to go up by 4 times, so about 300% jump is expected at the metals. Then private and public sector banks, there about 100% YOY growth is expected.
True.
Other sectors like capital goods, consumer durables, they are about 60-70% YOY growth is expected. So mind you, these companies profits are going to go up this much, and market has already started discounting them, some earlier, some in last few weeks, as we see that the metal stocks have also started running up. So markets have started discounting these earnings. The sectors which are likely to underperform are, I think, media, telecom, and infrastructure sectors. I think there the earnings are likely to underperform. FMCG, there was not a disruption, so I think there the earnings are going to be flat.
Let's say that the earnings growth were to actually come at around 30% for FY22, right? So we are looking at, let's say, around 700 rupees kind of an EPS for the NIFTY as an index, and then 20% for FY23, right? So what does this mean from a market perspective, right? There are a lot of factors which have to actually work for this to happen. One is the economy should revive to the extent that we are actually talking about. So if these things actually play out, what it will mean is that that we are going to see a very, very broad economic revival. I sense that if that were to play out, I definitely believe that the cyclicals will still do better in FY22 and 23 also. That's something which is very, very likely to play out. By cyclicals, of course, we could look at various sets of sectors. Cement has been doing quite well. It might continue to do well. Metals are doing quite well. They might continue to do well. More so, what we would also be looking at, if the earnings revival as such is so strong for a large index like NIFTY, then probably the mid-cap and the small-cap indices might also do very, very well, because the earnings revival for them might be even stronger. Because if the broader economy revives, they have more opportunities, they have a low base, they can grow faster. Right? So that's what we are looking at. We are very, very carefully observing what to pick, what not to pick in mid-caps and small-caps, right? Because that's where I think a lot of wealth could be created. And if I can combine it with some of the themes, then of course, then it's like a great way to look at it. So essentially, this is what we are looking at. We should see a 15 to 20% return in FY22, very, very likely. That's point number one. Point number two, what we are looking at from a thematic perspective will be mid-cap, small caps, and large cap value will be the 3 broad themes that we would be looking at investing.